Hello, my name is Wildstag, and thank you for tuning in to another used book review. Today we will be covering this book, The Gentle Art of Wandering, by David Ryan. Coming in only at 100 pages long, this book is very simple and short to read. It helped define my attitude in the wilderness, how I go about wandering. It really puts, in a sense, why it can be fun to go off trail when you are in a place you can do that legally. The inside cover of this book has a note from one of the previous owners, dated December 19th, 2012, to Ray, for your flight to New Mexico. I haven't read it yet, but it caught my eye in the bookstore. Love in Long Walks, Jenny. I bought this at Coas for $4. It's printed New Mountain Books, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Whoever bought this bought it new, I think, because it was copyright 2012, so for it to be gifted and seen in the bookstore, she probably means a new bookstore. Another book by this author is Long Distance Hiking on the Appalachian Trail for the Older Adventurer. That one is copyright 2002, so this was written a decade later. I haven't read that yet, but I think, given how fun it was to read this person's narration, that book is probably also fun. The dedication page has a really funny poem. It has simply a picture of a dog, and it says, "All walks are good. I don't know how long this walk is going to be, but I do know one thing. This is the best walk I have ever been on, because this is the walk I am on right now." That attitude of just enjoying the walk you're on right now is expressed throughout the rest of the book. It opens, chapter 1, "Several years ago, long before I met him, a man I know found a dinosaur while hiking in the backcountry of New Mexico. He and his partner were members of a committee that was responsible for identifying parcels of public land to consider for official wilderness protection. The area they were hiking had already been taken off the list. They did not agree with the decision and had returned to the area to photograph prehistoric rock art in hopes of having the area relisted." There's a lot of rock art, prehistoric rock art in New Mexico, so oftentimes it does get put on federal land. It's not a given, so it was still a struggle. On the hike back to their car, they saw what looked like a huge chicken neck laying half in and half out of the sandstone. In addition to the huge chicken neck, they found a femur broken into 3 pieces lying on the ground. They were pretty certain that they had found part of a dinosaur, and when they showed pictures to a paleontologist, it was indeed confirmed as being a dinosaur. The land in question was put back on the list and is now part of an official wilderness area, and the dinosaur, Seismosaurus, can be seen at the New Mexico Museum of Natural History in Albuquerque. It is the largest dinosaur ever found in New Mexico, and one of the largest ever found anywhere. That huge chicken neck turned out to be a part of the tail, and the total length of the dinosaur came out to be over 110 feet long. The 2 hikers found Seismosaurus because they were wandering and exploring in the back country, and there is no reason why you can't find something amazing when you wander and explore. The idea behind this book is to help you develop the mindset to make every adventure on foot amazing. He then expresses what is effectively a thesis. Wandering is about seeing with your entire body. It is the ability to see that leads to discovering the unexpected. This is what will make any adventure amazing. Along with general awareness, seeing involves 3 basic components: common sense, recognition, and, for a lack of a better word, search image. You already have common sense. It just needs to be tuned to what you are doing. Your basic common sense will help establish parameters to focus your wandering. This will improve your chances of finding something special. Recognition is having an idea of what something is when you find it. If you are looking for edible mushrooms on the Appalachian Trail, you better know which ones are safe to eat. If you are looking for archaeology sites, knowing something about the artifact you just found will help you understand more about the area you are exploring. Recognition is a matter of knowledge, and knowledge is something that you can acquire over time. As your knowledge grows, you will be adding depth to your wandering experience. It is your search image capability that is the crux of seeing. This is setting aside the controlling portion of your mind, your ego, and letting your body's senses take over to see. It is something you feel rather than think. It is letting something find you rather than you're finding it. To allow your body's senses to take over and let your search image capability kick in, it helps to be present and connected to the world immediately around you. This means quieting your mind so you can be right here and right now. What follows throughout the rest of the book is a couple examples of wandering about New Mexico, wandering around cities, wandering around Appalachian Trail, wandering. He finds oddities and curiosities and adventure all over the state, all over the country, all over the world. It helps that this book, each chapter seems to be based around, the common sense, or those three principles, the common sense, recognition, and that search image. And there's also just examples of how using that allows him to find new and interesting things in a city, like I mentioned earlier, and new and interesting things on something he is familiar with, such as the Appalachian Trail. The book has a little closing statement, an invitation. When I started working on this book, I thought that it would be a how-to on exploring the backcountry. As I progressed, I realized that the same skills I used in exploring and wandering in the backcountry applied to all settings, and that it was the seeing, connecting, and enjoying the world around you no matter where you were that was important. I expect to continue wandering and plan to share any special adventures and new insights on a blog at the book's website, listed here as Gentle Art of Wandering. I haven't actually checked that website to see if it is still active, but 100 pages of a short book, very digestible, easy to read, doesn't take too long, informative, and helpful. And to have that basically be as a short advertisement for a blog, it doesn't feel like I was cheated in any way. I want to learn more about this person's adventures after reading it, so it's just a opportunity to find more. What makes it nicer is finding that note in the front of the book. I'm getting a glimpse into someone else's life. 2012, she sees it new. She gives this to Ray because it caught her eyes, and he's on the way to New Mexico, so maybe he can apply some of it there. Get a glimpse into not just the author's mindset while traveling, but some strangers I'll never meet, and advice on how to wander and how to find things that once you stumble upon something, you may think, well, I want to follow this creek bed and maybe I'll find something else. I didn't really think of that necessarily, of finding pottery sherds or arrowheads downstream. I didn't really think of that before reading this book. I just thought, oh, if I find it, and I have some fun. And it was enjoyable in all the best ways. And I think if you're the kind of person that likes hiking, this may be the kind of thing you want to read. And maybe it'll give you that courage, that push to go off trail for the first time and explore and see the world in a way that not everyone will, because they'll be sticking to the overlooks, the moments on that trail where there are going to be pictures and opportunities for pictures or lessons on signs. And you're going to be wandering in the valley, in the creek bed, seeing crawdads and seeing maybe petroglyphs, maybe antlers, maybe cool mushrooms. But you're going to be wandering and you're going to find all sorts of cool things to enjoy on that hike. I do this all the time, and a couple weeks ago even, with my dad, and we found 2 trees in a stream bed near Las Cruces, New Mexico that are isolated from the rest of the populations of those trees. And so it was nice to see like chokeberry and some fir trees that really they had no business being there. So this book, I loved it, and I would encourage anyone else to read this as well. Like I said, it's only 103 pages. He wrote another book about the Appalachian Trail, but for an older person. And I think because this book was so enjoyable, I'm going to check out that one too if I ever find it. Maybe I'll even buy it new. That's how much I appreciated this book, that it would be worth it if you did see it new to buy it new. I don't know where it's sold anymore, but if you come upon The Gentle Art of Wandering in your used bookstore wanderings, you should buy this book. My name is Wildstag. Thank you for tuning in to another used book review.